Well, it's about 7 o'clock. It's a few hours till the sun goes down, so we just used the last of the day to pick up some mussels. Let's have a look what Pasky's up to. So this is a little bit of a win-win. The owner of this mooring gets a bit of biofouling removed, and we get some mussels.
We get a free feed.
This buoy's particularly good because it hasn't got any chemical anti-fouling on it. So they just sort of rely on coming along and manually cleaning it, so we're doing a little bit of that job right now. What do you think there, Passy? All pretty good size?
Yeah, not bad.
They're pretty clean as well, eh?
They're very clean. Not bad for a couple of minutes of work.
Yeah.
Welcome to Free Range Sailing. Join us as we sail around Australia, visiting its wild places in our 30-foot, 50-year-old sailing boat, Marul.
Living off the land and sea while sailing a yacht that costs less than a new car, we show that it's possible to have big adventures with a seaworthy boat on a very modest budget.
So we skipped out of the land of the wombats for a little while, and we just caught up with some friends for Australia Day. Obviously we didn't film that just because it's a personal thing. But we're going to head south now on the breeze, and I don't know where we're going to end up. I don't know whether we're going to go to North Bay or all the way down to Fortescue Bay. So it's either 24 or 36 miles. We'll just see how we feel, but both of them will offer us the shelter we want. But we're out of Abalone now. We've attended a barbecue cricket match. They all got gobbled up. What have we got left, Pasky? We've got a few mussels.
We've got some mussels from yesterday and some fish wings.
And some fish wings. We're broke. Calm.
I can feel it. I can hear it.
We're enjoying a bit of wind now, but earlier on we had to run the engine as well as sail because we had about 50% of the time where we had we had about 50% of the time where we had some wind, and then we had 50% of the time with no wind, and it would come and go and it would change directions and everything else like that. So we had a combination of pure motoring, motor sailing, pure sailing.
As you can see, gimbaled stoves are great for holding flower vases.
You should come and have a steer.
Okay.
Well, once again we got Pasky on the tiller there. He's going great guns. We've got one reef in the mainsail, and we've reefed the head sail a little bit as well. And we've just detuned the sails a little bit just so they're not quite so sensitive to the big gusts that are coming off. There's very, very changeable conditions at the moment. The direction has settled down a lot, but the intensity changes. So what's the strategy, Pass? What are you doing?
When the gusts come, I'm just pointing the wind a bit because we've steered a little bit off course to leeward.
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's happened is we've just let the course. We've just strayed a bit to leeward, so downwind a bit, and that means we're rounding a headland. And there's a few rocks that we prefer not to hit. It's an expensive thing to do, and so far we've managed to avoid doing that. So anytime the wind really gusts up, instead of adjusting our sails so it can hold the same line, Pasky's just steering up into it, and that it lets wind escape out of the top of the sail actually, and then so we're not so powerful. And then as the wind eases, she comes back onto our line and we roar along.
Yay! A dolphin just jumped. Sorry.
And because we're doing about 5.5 to 6 knots, the local dolphins like it, so it's really great. They've been jumping around. We're not a big enough boat that we generate a pressure wave that they can ride. You know, like the way our boat is shaped, the entry of it, they can't really ride a pressure wave, so they'll just sort of surf along with us. They get pretty excited. But certainly on big ships that push a big bulb of water pressure in front of them, that acts exactly the same way as you see surfers catching a wave. The dolphins will catch that pressure wave and surf it. So we're not quite as exciting as a big freighter for a dolphin. But they don't seem to mind us.
Things seem a little different now.
Oh, you mean me or the boat or the wind?
Well, I guess as the boat and the wind change, so do you. But it's not quite as hectic now.
No.
I went walking in the stream. I dreamt of islands floating too. I went walking to the dawn. I dreamt the morning dripping through. I see you come and see you slide. Is it any wonder the picture in the frame, leaving nowhere to call your own?
As the wind boosted once more, I was happy to hand the tiller over to Troy. In this situation, sometimes the gusts coming off the cliffs were so strong that we would ease the main sheet to depower the mainsail. Once those strong gusts had passed, Troy would pull up again on the main sheet to get a better shape back into the sail.
The dose of gust with dolphins.
So last night we got what's called around here jack mackerel, a type of scad. I don't think they're really eaten a lot as food by the locals here in Tasmania, but they certainly are in Japan. What do they know about seafood, right? So what we did is we grabbed a bunch of them and we were going to pickle them. So we were just going to brine them and put them in vinegar. But we were so hungry and we were so enthusiastic to try them that we thought we might just dredge them in flour and fry them straight up in oil.
Yeah. The next time we catch them, we'll make roll mops. We'll make pickled herring, make them like pickled herring.
Yeah, so that's most people here in Tasmania and the southern states of Australia would use them just as a bait fish, for which they're really, really great. The old jack mackerel. But we've tasted them and they are a very, very good stand-in for what we call herring, which are a salmon relative over in Western Australia. Just a small fish, and I think that if we cured these and smoked them, which we're going to try as well because they're easy to catch and they're quite regularly abundant, we'll give that a go in the very, very near future as well.
This tessellated pavement is caused by the interaction of seawater and sand eroding the rocks along the shoreline. The concave depressions you can see here are pan formations. They occur in the parts of the pavement that dry out more at low tide than the portion abutting the seashore, allowing salt crystals to develop further and strengthen the outside pavement edge, with the surface of the pans eroding more quickly than the joints. These loaf formations occur on the parts of the pavement closer to the seashore, which are immersed in water for longer periods of time. Water, carrying abrasive sand, is typically channeled through the joints, causing them to erode faster than the rest of the pavement, leaving loaf-like structures protruding.
We're sailing south at the moment. There's a high pressure system that's moving quickly. At the moment we've taken the benefit of a bit of a northerly wind, but it's going to shift to the south very quickly, probably in a few hours, so we're sort of racing down, but we haven't set all sail. We've actually just got a reefed head sail at the moment, and the reason being is we're sailing along these really like dramatic cliffs, so you get these strong gusts come dropping down off them, and it just is really nice to have a small in control sail that we can furl with our furler if things get too mad, because coming down here, poor old Pasky's nerves have been a bit shattered, so we're just having a bit more of a relaxed session down here. But we're still making, you know, like 5-6 knots, so that's pretty good. Because there's a high pressure system, we've got really clear skies, and we're looking at hot temperatures, even though it's down in Tassie, in the centre of Tassie. It's going to be about 38 degrees tomorrow, which is hot. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's pretty sweaty stuff, and that means combined with the dry conditions, because it's only about 50% humidity, we have to really be careful of the sun at the moment. So broad brimmed hats up in the tropics, because the humidity is so high. You know, everyone thinks it's the ozone layer, but it's actually you know, the moisture content of the air and stuff. Same when you go skiing or alpine walking or something, wherever you are in the world, you get burnt. But yeah, here we really have to be careful. So I've got my shirt. Everyone sort of hassles me in the comments a little bit. Oh, you're in your business shirt, where's your tie? But in reality, going to the op shop, you know, the second-hand store, and paying $5 for an easily cleaned white cotton shirt, it's great sun protection, makes a lot of sense. Then you can spend the rest of your money on good cheese and sailing gear. And it's might be a peculiarly Australian thing, but I've got zinc cream as well. So rather than soaking into your skin and being a sunscreen like that, hang on, here's one of those gusts. Rather than soaking into your skin and like chemical protection against the sun, we have the zinc cream, so it sits on top of your skin there, and it actually forms quite a physical barrier. So we try not to use chemical sunscreens as much as possible, because we just don't know what the long-term effects are, and we often have buffs and stuff like that. But today I just thought, it's going to be really intense. It's time to put the sunscreen on.
I thought your hat blew off then. It's hat band weather.
It is. It's not hat band weather like when we came down in the 50 knots, but it's still hat bandish. My head's big, but it's still, this hat might have loosened up a little bit. This is pretty scenic cruising. It's Kimberley level.
Just a bit windier.
A lot windier.
We're back in a calm patch.
Glassy. This is crazy. The sail can't even fill up. You'd be ready for it. Soon it might be 25 knots again. With a southerly change expected to arrive at any moment, we were happy to have arrived and set anchor in the safety and shelter of stunning Canoe Bay. Thanks for watching us sail in the crazy Tasmanian summer weather this week. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps get our videos out to a broader audience. Join us next week as we explore the stunning scenery and seafood of Fortescue Bay on the Tasman Peninsula.
Alright, slippery fish everywhere.
Also, don't forget that my free 40-page provisioning guide is still available on our website. I've put a link on screen and in the description of this video if you haven't grabbed it yet. Bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you next week.